Good evening, guys, and welcome back to the Drop Zone. Another Wednesday, and we're back again after a busy weekend of WrestleMania. First thing I should do is introduce my wonderful panel. So I'll start off. Craig, how you doing, mate? Did you enjoy WrestleMania?
Yeah, good, thanks, mate. Yeah, I really did. Yeah, it was good.
Excellent. You caught up with your sleep?
Yeah, mate, just about.
Excellent. Jake, welcome back onto the show, mate. I know you had a week off last week.
Yeah. Thanks. I'm doing good. Yeah.
Excellent. Tony, thanks for coming back on again, mate.
Yep, no problem. Enjoy it all the time.
Excellent. Adam, how you doing as well? Another week off last week. You missed out, but you're back again this week.
I did, mate. Yes, yeah. Thanks for having me back. Always a pleasure to be here. I'm glad to see you all.
Cheers. And a guy I think who's going to give me a bit of grief on this today's show. Abdi, how you doing, mate?
Can you feel the adrenaline in the air? It's running through my soul right now. Adrenaline in my soul. And I'm doing fantastic, mate. I hope you're doing well. I just want to quickly say to everyone who's celebrating, Eid Mubarak to everyone who's celebrating. I hope you had a blessed Ramadan. And ready to get to the show.
Excellent. Jill, welcome back.
Hello all. No spoilers from me tonight because there's nothing to spoil, hopefully.
Dynamite.
No spoilers.
I'm not watching
There's a punk stuff. Fair enough.
Just to say hello to everyone in the chat as well. Mr. Tom, hello, mate. Well done. Well done in your predictions as well, Mr. Tom. You was right up there with the guys. We'll go through that a little bit later. But you was close to getting it. Someone's bonus point has really helped them out in this predictions this week. But we're talking.
I ain't living that down, am I? I've told you it's the equivalent of the Money in the Bank. So I'm taking it.
Stay tuned. There'll be more information on what happens later. Let's kick into it. A brilliant WrestleMania. We could probably say the best WrestleMania for ever. It'd be interesting to get your guys' thoughts if you think it was the best as well. So we'll kick things off, and I'll start with you, Adam. The Rhea Ripley and Becky was the opening match of night one of WrestleMania. Fantastic match to kick open the show, wasn't it?
Yeah, fair play. I think exactly what an opening match should be. You know, competitive, back and forth, exciting, near falls. I mean, fair play to Becky. I believe they announced, or even they announced it was online that she'd been, 120-degree temperature all week or something. To go out there and perform like that, in the best of health is pretty amazing. To go out there when you're very unwell is, testament to what a competitor she is, what a superstar she is. And it was a great match, fair play to the both of them. Exactly what an opening match should be. It set the tone. It said to everybody else, go ahead, follow that. And yeah, they really stepped up. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, it was a great match. And it wouldn't be fair if I didn't come to the only person who picked Becky in the predictions. Craig, how did you find the match?
I was robbed, mate. If I had known she had strep throat and a fever, mate, I think I might have changed my prediction. But I feel madly robbed. I think she would have won that if she hadn't. Great match. I said I wasn't really bothered with the outcome. I was happy either way. But yeah, just going off Adam. Yeah, really great opening. It sort of set the standard and the tone. I have to agree. Joshua 17. I think I've mentioned it before. Rock and Stone Cold. That whole promo, that whole build up. Thought he was good. Very, very, very good. But yeah, I think I've mentioned it before. 17 is right up there for me.
Excellent. I go to you, Jill. With the match, the ring gear was quite interesting as well. Becky, they heavily played on her book. Rhea Ripley scared probably the life out of my kids with her band that she had with her.
I genuinely thought Chris Motionless was Rhea at first because of how he looked.
We said that on the stream. I said, "Oh my God, it's Rhea."
Yeah, me and all my friends went, "Is that Rhea? Oh no, there's Rhea."
My brother.
But yeah, no, we did talk about it on the watch along. I think it was the Sunday night, which WrestleMania we thought were the best, and it was a toss up between 17 and I think 18 was mentioned as well in there. So it was definitely one of the best. It's one of the best we've had for years. But I don't know. I felt like night one was a bit like a first half of a football match where we went in at 1-1 and the second half was always going to be better. But yeah, I'll come to you, Tony, just quickly touching on WrestleMania night one. Did you feel it was kind of like a pre-show to the main event on the Sunday?
I think it promised so much, but it was quite just bland. It didn't really have much in a way of anything that really got you going. And like you said, it was like a first half of football. They were playing for a draw, playing it safe, and then waiting for the next night where it all exploded. So yeah, but it was a good event. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it wasn't, but I think that literally they played it safe and they knew where to place certain matches in the card where it would be like, let's get a good start, medium, and then get right to the end, where the end would then roll on for the Sunday night. So yeah, it was good though.
I think if you didn't have night 2, I don't think there'd be the conversation that it's up there with like WrestleMania 17.
Yeah.
I think if they just ended it and it was night 1 and that was it, I think night 2 massively sort of saved. I don't want to say saved it, because there were some good matches on night 1.
Yeah.
But I think night 2 massively outshone night 1.
And then we went into, apologies if they're not in order, they should be, because I did check. We went into the next match, which I think was Gunther and Sami Zayn. Apologies if that's
wrong. It was a ladder match, but that was semi-main, but it's all right.
But yeah, we'll go this one first, just because I've got it in order. But yeah, I'll start with you, Abdi. Gunther was heavily touted as the favourite to win this. Were you surprised Zayn got the victory in the
end? Not by the time it happened, but like leading up to it, I was slightly thinking, with the way they were building up, I was like, he might actually do it here now. And yeah, just the way Gunther came out, he was in the red, and when I see the red, I'm just like, someone's about to take a heavy loss here. I always signify that, because Ric Flair done that sort of thing where he wear the red trunks, and that means he was going to lose or something. But yeah, I thought this was one of the matches of the weekend. It was it was the match that delivered. And I just want to quickly say, in terms of the night 1 letting, like, not being as good night 2, I feel like part of it was because of how cold it was. Because the fans couldn't really get into it too much because they were freezing. There was the wind chills, open air stadium. And then afterwards, it just... I still think night 1 was good. I still think night 1 was a pretty good show. There was a couple of things that let it, like, wasn't so hot. No pun intended. But this was one of the standouts of the night, along with the opening and the main event. But yeah, I'm happy for Sami. He's one of those guys who can literally turn you from thinking you want something else, but then you end up just rooting for him. And he's just one of those guys who just has a more likable presence, and you just can't help but get behind him. Fantastic match. I feel like they've got more in the tank to come from them too. And yeah, I like that Sami pulled out the brain buster. That shocked me a little bit. I was like, damn, pulling out all the stops, and then he wins it with a Helluva Kick. And yeah, hats off to Gunther. Made the IC title mean so much. It's a prize worth fighting for. And yeah, I'm very excited for the Intercontinental title scene coming out of WrestleMania as well. So yeah, hats off to Gunther. There's a bright future for him. He's got more to come for him, I'm sure. It's going to be a big year for him. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what he does next.
Yeah, no, it's surprising you said that about the brainbuster. Some people on Twitter were saying that was a botch, but if they had seen
they're dummies
beforehand,
I saw that. That's funny.
All the time.
He got struck. That person got struck with a community notes thing that's saying this is not a botch.
Yeah,
you are a dummy.
Whoever he was, we used to do it all the time, didn't he?
Yeah. So I thought he was going for a suplex, and then afterwards he just dropped him. I was like, "Shiza."
Yeah, it was a good spot, to be fair.
With Gunther being so big as well, I think it made it look a bit more fumbled than it actually was. But hats off to both of them for executing that, because it must have been difficult.
Yeah. I love the way he toyed with him as well. It sort of, his arrogance and kind of cost him a little bit, which is something we'll get onto a bit later on. Yeah,
that seems to have been the theme of this weekend. You're obsessed with something, or you're arrogant about something, and it costs you.
Yep, and that's not the first time or the second time. We'll talk about
that. We'll get there, I'm sure we will. Jake, I'll come to you next. Then we had the ladder match. It was actually quite a good match, to be fair, and a surprise. I don't think no one in their right mind thought A-Town Down Under would pull down them SmackDown titles, except one guy who was watching the watch along with us and got him his first bonus point of the night. But Jake, was you happy to see Awesome Truth pick up the other belts?
Yeah. At first I was surprised because I knew they were splitting the belts, but I didn't know they would do it in that style. I thought that they will either one of the titles of each brand on each on one thing, and then one of them pulls down both of them, or like if R-Truth picked one and then Austin Theory picked the other. But I didn't realise it would be that split. Oh, like that way. But yeah, it was pretty good anyway, which either way it was. With Austin Theory and Grayson Waller winning the SmackDown ones, I was completely in shock when they won that, because I was like, what's going on? And then Awesome Truth, they deserved it, those ones, with all the stuff that's happened before. And yeah.
So Craig, when we was watching the watch along, what made you feel? Because you said it before they did it. It wasn't like a split thing.
I said it literally as soon as their theme music hit, I think, and they came down. I don't know. I sort of changed my mind, because my two original picks of Awesome Truth and DIY, it just felt like you'd have two face champions. I think that was my only thinking behind it, and I just kind of thought, oh, do you know what? They might be the dark horse to win one of them. And I kind of just went with that.
Quick question. Did you get to change your pick for that one?
No,
I didn't change it.
Okay, fair enough.
Jonesy just let me have it as a bonus because I called it before the match started, I guess.
Fair enough, because your logic made sense, and that's what I was kind of thinking. Like, before I was watching the thing, I thought about it, and I was like, I don't see it being two faces. It makes sense for it to be one heel and one face. And I was like, it was either A-Town Down Under or Newcastle Republic. But I was like, if Awesome Truth are winning it, and that's going to be the closing shot, I feel like they'd give it to Grayson and Austin. And I wasn't really surprised about that. I thought it was going to be one of the two anyway. I didn't think it was going to be another Raw team taking SmackDown titles.
No.
So it was a strong first hour, I would say, hour and a half, because it seemed to breeze by both nights, to be fair. And then we went into a match that I think everyone thought would be match of the night.
I was well shocked.
Not me.
Jason,
I told you guys.
Jason Jordan let us down. He let his dad down, Kurt.
Guys.
What did you make of that match? Was it just... It was bad, wasn't it? Like, I don't want to shit on WWE, and I don't want what they've been doing is great, but if there was the poorest match of the night, that was it.
It's ironic you say that, because they're sponsored by Dude Wipes. Dude Wipes.
That's
all I can see.
Brand ever again.
I said, like, before, I know you guys had your thoughts and feelings about this match, saying it'd probably be the match of the weekend, still the show and all this. I never felt that with this match. I thought it'd be better than what it was, but it was, and that wasn't even that high, really. With all due respect, I didn't think it was going to be the one I was like, oh. But yeah, that was it just was a weird one. It didn't really hit. It didn't make me feel anything. And then when the finish came, I was like, oh, that's it. Okay, well, on to the next one, I guess. And that's all I got to say on that.
Adam, what was your thoughts on it? Because I know Jay's been built heavily, and Jimmy with the bloodline. It was a poor match, wasn't it?
Certainly by the expectations everybody had. Even removing expectations, it was pretty standard. You know, if you had no expectations, it was a throwaway sort of Monday Night Raw main event or something, you give it a 5 or 6 out of 10. The fact it was a, God knows how long build, WrestleMania, brother versus brother, what many people, myself included, expected to steal the show, or at least attempt to steal the show. I don't know. Maybe we'll find out something over the weeks and months that one of them had an injury which didn't come to light or something like that, and there was a particular reason why it was kind of slow-paced and plodding and real lack of intensity. It does seem strange to me that they wouldn't have thrown the kitchen sink at it, so to speak. So, yeah, I don't know. I was disappointed by it. No disrespect to them, but like I say, if it was a throwaway Monday Night Raw main event, you give it 5 or 6 out of 10. Due to the occasion, the expectations, you'd be looking at a 2 or 3 out of 10, to be frank about it.
Yeah, I know. I think we all agree. It certainly highlighted that it was, one of the weakest matches. We don't like to disrespect what they do in the ring, but I think that was more to do with the planning and the execution. especially they tried to make us feel it when Jimmy was like, "I'm sorry," but it just didn't. It didn't click with me, and I don't know about you guys. I just thought it's gone too far down the line for a redemption story.
It was such an obvious bait and switch. That was the thing. As soon as it happened,
crowd wasn't even buying it. Crowd wasn't even buying it.
Now the crowd, the crowd was so dead during that match. It was unbelievable. But yeah, so we'll carry on anyway. We don't want to. It was a great Mania anyway. We don't want to get too disheartened on one match. Then we had Jill. We had Jade Cargill's debut, full long match in ring debut against Damage Control. Did you feel they built her well and they're making her look strong? We'll talk about Raw a bit later, but did you feel she's done enough, or is it still too much of short time in the ring for her? You like to see her in a proper match? I'd
definitely like to see her in a proper match. I don't think this match was long enough. This match felt long, but it was like 10 minutes nearly shorter than the Usos match, which when you look at it doesn't make much sense. I really love the entrances. I think both teams got a really cool entrance, which was really nice. And it feels like the whole point of that match was to get the crowd to get behind Jade, because she got the hot tag, she came in, she did her moves, and then that was that. And it kind of felt like not forced, but at the same time, kind of a little bit forced, if that makes sense.
Abdi, they've got to be careful in it, because I think they're trying to build her like Goldberg, aren't they? I know they did it in AEW with her.
I slightly disagree in terms of I don't feel like the match outstayed its welcome. I think it was purely there just to be the showcase, mainly for Jade. That was the main purpose of it, to get her over and get her that shine and spotlight and give her a debut. But they put her in a match where she could really showcase it in terms of with the likes of Damage Control, and have Bianca and Naomi also be able to be on her team to sort of help with the match. But yeah, I feel like it was just mainly there to sort of build her up, show her off, give her that grand stage to do what she can and show that she's like a star. She's definitely got the aesthetics of it. It's whether the in-ring is there to back it up. As for your question about building her up like Goldberg and doing what she got in AEW, I feel like they will do that in terms of it shouldn't be just like jobbers and squash matches. I feel like you need to give her credible opponents to actually make it mean something. So yeah, like she doesn't have dark elevation to like rack up ridiculous wins and stuff. So yeah, as for the Monday thing, we'll talk about it later. But yeah.
But yeah, no, there's a good question. Well, it's not really a question, but Mr. Tom said in here, if Naomi and Belair couldn't get to Philly, they would have had her still go through all three of them.
Probably.
Do you kind of agree with that, Adam? The way they're building her?
Do you know what? And I know I didn't was on the prediction channel, anything like that, but I can provide documented evidence if required. I actually predicted Damage Control to win this match because I know it might sound strange saying Jade Cargill would lose, but I expected some sort of, miscommunication, Bianca Belair accidentally knocking out Jade Cargill and then moving on to a feud after that. The reason being, and I'm going to get too far ahead of things, I predicted Bayley to win. So I thought, okay, well, Damage Control will get the win on night one, look strong going into night two, making Bayley's task look even bigger. So I didn't expect what happened, but it was a good match and yeah, nice to see.
Cool. And then Tony, we went on to Ray, and it was Andrade who took his place late there was a late change. So predictions were different, but people still went with what they went with. I think most of the people said Dominic and Santos, to be fair. Literally, I'm looking at the sheet here now. Yeah, pretty much everyone did.
Yeah.
Was you surprised? Obviously, we had the celebrity interference. It was Jason Kelsey, weren't it? And the other guy, I can't remember his name. It's gone off.
Lane Johnson, I think his name
was. That was it.
Yeah.
But was that just a celebrity match of the night? Where you get the odd one come out and interfere into a match. We've seen it before.
Yeah, I believe that they had to get a celebrity on there somewhere, and it made sense. Well, I don't know if it made sense, but they jumped in there with masks on, and we knew it weren't Solo this time, so it was it was a good match, to be honest. I didn't mind that. I thought Dominic and his team was going to win, to be honest. I fully thought they were going to win. But yeah, it was a good match, to be honest. And yeah, I've got nothing else to really say about it, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, Jill, do you see anything else coming building off this match, or was it just a gap filler?
I don't know, because I thought Dom would win, so they'd be like 1-1 and then they could have a blow-off match. Mm-hmm. Now I'm just really not sure what direction they're taking it in. Is it going to link back to the Judgment Day? Because obviously going back to Raw, it seemed to slightly, but not really. So I don't know. It just seems a bit, the outcome seems a bit unthought out, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. I was expecting Santos and Dom to win because they'd been getting the push and the LWO had been losing like all the time. So I was a bit shocked that it went the way it did.
Dominic is having a match with Andrade next week, so it is sort of continuing in its own sort of little section off. Yeah, so it is going to continue in terms of that, because Dominic has been like building up Andrade and what happened on SmackDown. I know we're not talking about SmackDown, but like Dragon Lee got taken out, and then by who we don't know yet. And then Andrade turned and joined Rey Mysterio and the LWO. So that sort of thing was like pissed Dominic off, and so they're going to have a match next week. As for the prediction, quickly, as soon as they took out Dragon Lee and put Andrade in there, I was so tempted to message you, Jonesy, and say, Jonesy, I really want to change your prediction, but I was like, I ain't going to do that. I'm just going to leave it be. Because as soon as that happened, I knew it was going to be the other way, and I was like, well, I'm just going to have to stick with it.
Yeah, it was a strange one for him to come in. Well, you got replaced. I don't know if it's a genuine injury. It must be, or something.
I don't know what it was about. It was a bit of one. I know there was talk of someone getting taken out of a match. It was some people saying Grayson Austin were going to get taken out, but that didn't happen. But even before the show, someone said there was going to be a change to one of the matches, and this is the one.
And that was the one.
Me and one of my mates thought that when we were watching it, we thought that Carlito might have been the one that you might have turned.
It's funny you say that.
Yeah, people think that Carlito, I think, might have done it.
We all said that on the podcast on Friday, actually.
Yeah. Michael Cole even addressed that on commentary, saying people would tweeting and chirping, saying that the look on Carlito's face, yeah, he's pissed off that he was going to turn on him and all that stuff. You literally as soon as he said that, I was like, yeah, nothing's happening. They're winning.
Yeah. Shout out to Michael Cole as well. He can pull off a woolly hat with a suit. He looked quite well with that. it was a unique attire. So then we went on to the big main event of the first night. The Bloodline come out on top. It's what we all expected, wasn't it? It's because it was plays into the Bloodline rules for night 2. There was some debate on the show on Friday, and we've been debating it for a while, who would pick up the pinfall. Was any of you surprised The Rock pinned Cody?
No. I think we all agreed on Friday that's what would be the best outcome.
Yeah. Was you guys impressed with I'll go to Craig first. Was you impressed with The Rock? What he had in the tank? You know, what was it? 44 minutes he went in a match he hasn't had in. Was it 9-10 years?
Yeah, I think he did all right. I think there was that moment in the corner where people are saying he did it on purpose to look like Seth had kicked him in the corner, but I think his ankle or his knee gave in, and I can sympathise with a knee injury at the minute. So, but I think he did all right. To be fair, you know, it was a tag match. He was able to have that breather in between, you know, tagging Roman and standing on the side. But I don't think he was bad. I don't think he was amazing. He did what he needed to do, and that was go out there and perform, really, wasn't it? So,
from that corner, he almost pulled his ACL. From what I've heard, yeah.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
He looked very sore climbing the top rope on Monday Night Raw. I don't know if you saw him. He took
stumbled a little bit
up the rope, so yeah, it looks like he's suffering a bit. But
he did go through it a bit.
Yeah, to be fair, he went through a table, and there were some spots. I was surprised that he actually went through some of them.
The spear looked nasty.
Yeah, we saw the spear from Roman, didn't we? Onto The Rock as well. He sold that.
I think he massively oversold that, though.
That's The Rock, though, isn't it? We've seen the days where he oversells the stunner.
Yeah,
flips himself out the ring.
Massively.
Create ahead of a meme though for going forward, didn't he? So
yeah,
he's always thinking ahead, always thinking of the socials. That guy, I like it.
Was there anything? Were any of you? This is open questions. Any of you guys? Was there anything that in that match that was lacking, or did you feel it was perfect the way it was played out?
In terms of the match, it started off as most Bloodline matches do in terms of the pace. It was a very slow start for like the first 10, 15-ish minutes, maybe even pushing 20. And then it picks up as most of their matches do, and then it turns into what people are raving about. I could have done with a little less of the plodding at the start. If they gotten into it a little bit quicker, it would have been, but I'm not complaining too much about it, because the overall outcome of it was still a great match to watch, enjoyable one. And The Rock's entrance, badass. You love to see that. It just, the aura, the presence. I was just like, yeah, this guy, he's got it. There was no real special entrances for the others because they had theirs the next night, so we'll get to those. But yeah, I wasn't surprised about Rock going through the table because they teased that on Raw. So it was just one of those. They're like, we're not going to give it to you now, but this could be a thing that happens. So I was like, yeah, I was expecting it. But yeah, it was a really good match and I enjoyed it.
I think it was perfect in the sense that it didn't have any interference.
Yeah.
It didn't need it. I think that was what was being saved for night 2. So it was perfect in the sense that it was just those 4 guys going at it, and then you had an outright winner without any interference.
It was essentially Bloodline rules that night as well, because Rock was whipping him with the belt and stuff and telling the referee, if you count, I'll fire you and all this stuff. Don't count, don't disqualify me. So he basically did whatever he wanted.
I
was surprised not to see Solo though. He's always plodding around somewhere.
He's always somewhere in the hood. But yeah, no, we said it on the watch along, didn't we, Craig? We said, and Tony, we said, oh, when did this match change to a no DQ match?
Yeah.
Went off the rails, but then when you're the final boss, I guess you can do what you want, can't you?
Pretty much.
Effing and blinding at the ref. Yeah.
Something we've learned since this Rock's return. He loves a good swear word, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I think it's because he doesn't get to do it in everyday life, so now he can. He does.
Well, he can't. I can't imagine them words being thrown around in Moana. Can you?
No.
Plus, apparently, he got earned like a lot from that match as well. Apparently, it's like 9 mil or something.
To do with stock and shares and stuff, weren't it?
Yeah, merchandise the world.
Brother can do whatever he wants.
So that was night 1. Night 1 ended. Pretty. I think we were all content. I would say went to bed. And then ready for night 2, and we got a surprise straight away at the gate, didn't we? We had Stephanie return. I think it was great to see her. Obviously, she's had some help.
Yes, it was.
Craig was loving life. What was the quote that was flying around? The best looking mum in the playground, someone said, or something.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Craig said that.
But yeah,
did I?
I don't think it was me actually. I was just trying to think
one of you.
That's crazy.
If I said it, I said it.
But she it was great to see her back, to be fair, after health issues and obviously the commotion with her dad. We won't name too much, but it was great to see her in. And then we went straight into Seth versus Drew, didn't we? And straight out, he hit him with a Claymore. And the match was great. Adam, I'll go to you. Just give me your thoughts on how it played out. Was it did you expect Drew to look so strong, obviously, with Seth being in a match the night before?
Yeah, I think it was, so again, very similar to what I said about, out of the gate for night 1. I think exactly what it needed to be, exactly what everyone kind of expected it to be. First, what they expected it to be, that match. They expected Seth to be kind of softened up the night before. They expected Drew to look strong. They expected Drew to win cleanly, which, as far as I remember, he did. But at the same time, they both looked great. It was, again, no pun intended here, it was a hotter crowd, and maybe the increased temperature helped with that, both from the performer's point of view and the audience point of view. So, yeah, I loved it. It set the tone really well for the night, and exactly what it needed to be, I think.
Yeah. And then, Tony, we had Drew tweeting from ringside, bored at work. It was hilarious.
That was so funny, yeah.
We had Punk as well, didn't we, at ringside? And then, obviously, he won, and he was gloating. He was give the missus a kiss. Went over to CM Punk.
He did the mean face.
And obviously, we know what Punk did. And then we heard the music, didn't we? And it happened. We was all debating when it was going to happen, how it was going to happen. And it finally happened. Was you shocked, or was it what you was expecting to happen as soon as Punk's attacked him?
I expected it.
I don't know if I did, but then it's one of them that we were watching it, and when it did happen, we were like, "Holy, it's gonna happen." And we were like, "Oh, maybe he's gonna attempt to cash it in and then mess it up or do something, or I don't know, R-Truth jump out somewhere and do something, or do you know what I mean?" But
that was my first thought. I said, "Where's R-Truth?"
Yeah.
But the thing was, it fitted and it was perfectly done. It was perfectly done.
Let me see his favorite comment. Yeah, I won't be putting that up. Sorry, Mr. Tom. We've had enough strikes this weekend. But yeah, no, Craig, your thoughts on it as well. Obviously, after CM Punk blowing his missus a kiss, then the celebrations at the end. Drew's just a menace, isn't he? But you obviously see him back in the title picture. Obviously, we won't go into too much, but you know, there is now a concern. What's he going to do for the next couple of weeks, months?
I think they're strongly pushing towards him and CM Punk at some point. Obviously, he wasn't in the arm brace. We'll get to this on Monday night. So, was it all a ruse? Is he fit to compete again? Is he not? I mean, they could drag it out a little bit longer with him just being a menace and costing Drew, and then eventually when he is fit to compete. I do see him being back in the title picture, but I think CM Punk coming back is also going to be someone else. You're going to have Gunther in there as well. Obviously, we'll get to that and whatnot. But I definitely see Drew still being in the title picture. Just because he got that moment at WrestleMania in front of the fans, I don't think that's it for him. I think he'll still be up there. You've got Clash at the Castle. Potentially, he could be involved there. Whether he wins it or not, I don't know. But he'll definitely be up there.
He has to get involved somehow.
The rumor is he's not yet signed a new contract.
Yeah,
right.
Abdi, I read a lot on the internet that the cash-in still would have happened if CM Punk was in that match. There was a lot of talk of it on Twitter and the rumor mill. Do you potentially see that would have happened still?
Personally, no, because you heard my thoughts on the whole situation on Friday. I didn't think it was something that was going to happen, nor did I think we'd ever see it really. And it made me chuckle. I think I audibly made a sound out loud when the whole thing was going down. I was chuckling. It literally got me out of my seat. I was popping hard for that. But yeah, it was. I don't know if it would have happened with CM Punk. It probably would have, but still, it's just one of those things. It's like, if it was the plan, it was the plan. I don't know. People say whatever they want to say. They can just, legend and fact and all that sort of things. We don't know. We just have to enjoy the ride, as The Rock says. I just loved everything about it. Seth's entrance is living rent free in my head right now. I could just hear that band playing his song. It's just I loved it. I loved everything about it.
We just didn't really get the reference though, did we?
No, but they mentioned that it was like the Philadelphia thing they do on New Year's and all that stuff, and it's their thing. So it was like it was in line with what they were doing there. I liked the whole thing.
Where was it? St. Louis? No, where did we?
It looked more New Orleans. Yeah, it looked more New Orleans. Yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw Adam's tweet. He said Adam Rose has returned, which I thought was and the Rose, which was quite.
Michael Cole did make a reference to it. It was like that NXT guy or something. But I just want to quickly say on the whole thing. I love the whole thing where Drew kept saying to Seth, "Your obsession with the bloodline and all this stuff is going to be the thing that ultimately costs you, and you're burning out the candles on both ends," which was true. It was, and Drew basically. For the most part, battered him. It was pretty one-sided for the most part. Seth had his offense, but it was like very fast-paced. But it was Drew's obsession with CM Punk in the end that also cost him. So it was like, I love the story of the whole thing. It was beautiful. The whole thing came out very well done. I don't think it's the end for Drew. He'll do what he needs to do for the next couple of months. I'm not sure exactly what that is, because I don't know who's there for him on the horizon, but we'll see what happens. But Clash of the Castle probably gets that title back, and then SummerSlam probably Punk. Punk, he's rehabbing. I don't think he's back yet. I think he's going to go away and still continue the rehab because don't think it's fully done yet because it's still in the brace and just took off now. But yeah, I think he will be back pretty soon now because he's actually getting proper rehab this time.
Cool. Adam, there's a good question. I'll send that one to you. How long do you see Priest being champ? And I want to add another question in there. Do you feel Drew could be added into a triple threat match because of what we saw? I know we ain't talked about Raw yet, but do you potentially see him? He could say, you know, Punk, blah, blah, and he could be included.
Yeah, so I think that I agree with the general consensus, and I'm sure most see it as Drew wins the title back at Clash at the Castle. I mean, I'm positive he signed his contract, and I'm positive he's going to win the title there. So we'll better. It's only 2 months away, so I expect Damian Priest will hold it until then. In terms of triple threat matches, yeah, possibly. Why not? It all depends. You know, we're not sure how far away CM Punk is. I think if he was anywhere close to competing, he probably would have competed at Mania in some sort of way, shape, or form. He didn't really get too physically involved. Obviously, you know, what up in Drew McIntyre with his brace, all of that. Didn't really take any bumps or anything. So, yeah, Drew holds the title until Clash at the Castle. Damien holds the title until Clash at the Castle, where Drew McIntyre wins it back in front of the Scottish fans. And then, yeah, from then probably builds to maybe that triple threat at SummerSlam.
Cool. Sounds
just a quick one. Sorry, with the whole talk of the contract, obviously Seth looked quite emotionally upset. Like, I don't know if anyone's seen any of the videos. Obviously, is that maybe because he's injured? Is it because he knows he's going away for a while? But also his contract's up shortly, isn't it? Were those tears because you know, everyone talks about Drew and they don't know, but like there's still Seth. You know, does he go away and come back?
I don't see Seth leaving in terms of his contract. I see him re-signing. I see the same for Drew as well. In the thing that I was reading before the show, he hasn't signed a contract yet, but they still feel confident on both sides that they'll get a deal done.
I hope they both
he's happy with what he's doing in terms of he's got a lot, like the creative is for him going forward makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of money to be made from it. He's probably going to become world champion again. So he got his moment.
Him and Punk's just got huge.
He believes in himself that he can. Even if he leaves, he believes in himself that he can still continue and do what he needs to do. But I don't think he will be leaving. As for Seth, I think he's going to take a break for a bit. Remember, he never really he had the injury for his knee. Never really took proper time off. He was rehabbing. He was still on the screen, still traveling. So now it's just time for him to relax, rehab his body, just get some, take a mental break, really, because he's been doing it hot and heavy for like last year. So pretty beat up. But yeah, I think he'll be back maybe in a month or two. Take a break.
Yeah.
And then we went into Bayley versus Io Sky.
I loved this match.
The match was a great match. I was just confused with Bayley's. I think we spoke about it quite a bit. We were confused with Bayley's entrance, just the whole Egyptian thing. We didn't see where that come from. Michael Cole referenced that she lived next to an Egyptian park in San Francisco or the Bay Area, so that was a bit strange. But it was Bayley's time, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely her time. I think I've said this to a few people. I said it on Sunday night. That of all the wrestling matches this weekend, I think their match was the best wrestling match, technically saying, because it had everything that I think it needed. It was a great way to end or start a new chapter in the story. Bayley definitely deserved it. The entrance did confuse me, but it confused everybody. It didn't really make sense. But I'm sure we'll get an explanation on Friday, hopefully. But yeah, definitely. Other than the main event, probably my favourite match of the night. And I enjoyed every match Sunday night, but it was up there for me. Really good. Io got to show off. I was shocked Damage Control didn't interfere, but I'm glad they didn't, because I think it made that match more legitimate. And my concern going in was Damage Control would get involved and then Jade would and it would just take away from the actual match between the two of them. So I'm really glad WWE took it in the direction they did.
Cool. And then the following match we had Jake LA Knight. This was probably one of the matches I don't is it fair to say no one was really invested in? Or is that a bit harsh? I don't know. You tell me, guys. But it was, a win for LA Knight. I don't know who to go with, to be fair. Was any of you fully interested or invested in the match? Or was it just another...
I really enjoyed. Like, I don't think there was any match on night 2 whatsoever. Like, even the 6-man tag, I don't think there was any match that I didn't enjoy. I enjoyed every single match from that card. I feel like they went at it. It was a pretty quick match. It was fast paced. It was energetic, frantic. The crowd was behind it. It was a hot match. AJ went for it. You know, he had his new theme. I liked it, to be fair. I need to hear it more and again, but like I enjoyed it for what it was, and it was one of those matches that didn't outstay its welcome. It was in there, straight to the point, hard hitting, fast paced. Can't say much more about that. It was an enjoyable match. Big win for LA Knight. He deserved it. He needed it, and AJ gave him a very good match to go along with it.
I just think what didn't help it was a Slim Jim's match. And that's what sometimes it just
he's making a lot of money from it.
I know
Sponsorship deal, you know.
But I feel it just takes a bit away from it, you know, from making it a bit more.
He's been saddled about twice, hasn't he? Yet to the Mountain
We
Dew.
were half expecting him to pull out a stick of Slim Jim and beat AJ Styles with it or something.
I think there's a difference between the whole Mountain Dew thing and the Slim Jim thing. The Mountain Dew one actually kind of affected the match because that was pitch black and it was all weird and stuff. So that's different. That's his own thing, and that kind of that wasn't that good, unfortunately. But the whole Slim Jim stuff, I don't think. No, I don't think the Slim Jim thing is that. I get it from your point of view. I don't think it's that offensive. I just feel like, you know, you look at it. Randy Savage was the face of Slim Jim. He had a big sponsorship deal with them, made a lot of money from it. So if LA Knight is the face of Slim Jim, I'm sure he's happy with it. He gets money from it. He gets more money. He's happy, you know, making them that moolah. You know, there was sponsorship everywhere. To be fair, so I wasn't complaining. Quickly on sponsorship though, the Prime thing was not as obnoxiously intrusive as I thought it'd be. It was just something that was just perfectly the way it was in terms of it wasn't that colored. It was the other one was like pretty grotesque and the sense on the SmackDown, and it wasn't slippery, so it was like
that one didn't take away, but having dude wipes all over the ring posts and the sides was a bit, I don't know, strange for me.
It is what it is, unfortunately. It is what it is, but money, that's what it's all about. It's money. Now it was even before that as well. It was even before that. It was a Vince thing that he didn't like it. Triple H and Nick Khan, they want to make the most money for the company, and if they're making the most money, then they're making the most money. And they broke all records pretty much.
£8 a packet.
£8.
Okay.
How many wipes?
No, I don't. I weren't the one that looked it up, so no idea.
It was a pack of 30.
£8.
What?
Dude wipes.
Nutmeg, job done.
So let's get off of it now because otherwise they'll be asking us for sponsorship money soon. So we went into the triple threat match. We had this guy. I'm not even going to refer his name on this show because I can't.
Tony's best mate.
Tony's best mate, as he's
literally.
put in the chat.
If I could get away with saying a couple of things like The Rock, I would. I can't stand this guy. Because the match was good. I'll come back to that after. But when we see this Prime bottle, us on the live stream, we were like, right, that's either going to be Jake Paul or KSI. There's no one else that it possibly could be. And then that guy removes the thing and he starts barking like a dog.
I agree with Mr. Tom.
And then he kicked him, and I'm thinking, good. And then he took him onto the announce table, and the pleasure I had in seeing that.
Oh, I've never seen Tony smile so much since I've known him. Oh, yeah.
And then obviously again I'm going to go past the match as well, and then backstage as well you see videos of him with a neck brace on, and he's just horrible. He's just
I don't get him.
Let it out, Tom.
I would literally have an hour rant about him.
I don't need to turn Hill on
bad.
No idea who he is.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's the problem.
All I gotta say is Cristiano Ronaldo, sweet.
Yeah.
The only reason I know who he is because of my nephew who literally hounds me with pictures and things of him opening packs on a football game on the PlayStation. So, but yeah, but the match was really good.
Gillian's gone.
Yeah, but he doesn't like it. Yes.
Too much crime.
What you making us sick?
The match was really good, to be honest. I enjoyed it. I just enjoyed it. It was fun. It didn't take too long until we see Kevin Owens and Randy Orton turn on each other. And they were kind of like, tell me if I'm wrong here, but I think he tried to RKO him. And then he was like, what you doing? And then all of a sudden they was like, well, let's go. And then they started hitting each other like that, which was fun. But yeah, it was a really good match. And obviously Logan Paul, I think, again, greatest of all time. One of them, he's going to be soon. I love Logan Paul. I think he's great. So, but yeah, good match.
Yeah, it was good. We were always expecting, obviously, with the announcement of SummerSlam to be where it's going to be. We was all expecting, I think, Logan to retain and have it in his hometown. But then we went into... Sorry?
Other than one person who predicted Randy to win.
Yeah, that's true. We won't mention it at the moment.
I didn't.
And then we went into a match. This was surprisingly good.
Really good.
Surprisingly good. I will hold my hands up and said this was toilet break match, but it wasn't.
I told you guys. I told you.
Adi, I'll give you your flowers, mate, a second time tonight. It was a really good match, wasn't it? Craig, I'll go with you. Was you surprised how good it was?
Yeah, I think we were saying beforehand when we knew that was the next match, we were all sort of saying, oh, this is the one, grab snacks or, quick toilet break or whatever. But it was actually really, really good. The nostalgia with Bubba Ray, that literally come out of nowhere. And just that bit where, they did the what's up on the top rope and... Yeah. Like it was a good match, really good match.
And it's a question here, Jake. Did you the refereeing over the weekend? It wasn't as bad as the Emirates last night, but what did you make of the refereeing?
It was pretty good. Yeah.
It wasn't too much. I mean, with Bubba Ray was pretty good.
Yeah, I was surprised. Sort of surprised that Bubba Ray was announced as the special guest, but I understand it was sort of like an ECW extreme type rules match, which would make sense as it's a Philadelphia street fight, and good outcome and good bit at the end when they. Well, I thought they were going to do the table bit as well, the Team 3D with either Bobby or one of the other two, but yeah, that was pretty good, that match, to be honest. Better than the Uso match, for sure.
Oh yeah.
That Uso match was like the toilet break match.
We've all agreed that's probably the worst match of the Mania, but but then we went into it, the big one. I mean, there's a lot to digest here. It was all going
on your face, Jonesy.
That's not to be fair. I've fully admitted it. Hold my hands out. He won. That's fine. But like I say, that story's finished, but a new one's beginning, which we'll get to in a bit.
There's more.
Prepare yourself. So much more. Prepare yourself for your boy to hold it till SummerSlam and then drop it. But yeah, we'll wait for that. Where do I start with it? I'll start with you, Adam. We'll kick off from obviously the interference solo. First of all, Twitter and X got glimpses of someone's hand under the ring, and then it was all going off for one. But yeah, Solo come out. He was quite demanding of Roman, wasn't he? He was telling him to finish it, do it. And Roman was like, yeah, I know. So maybe something potentially there.
Calm down.
Happened. Yeah, he was like, calm down, chill out.
All right, mate. It's only wrestling.
But then we heard the music hit, didn't we? And, 5 Moves Johnny come out. And then The Rock come out. And it was, I don't even know where to begin. I'll just leave it up to you, Adam. You dissect it. Where do you want to start from? Go for it.
So I think it was the end of the story that it had to be. Everyone predicted it, somebody even on here, the conference, it was batshit, it was insane, it was over the top. Vince Russo was telling them it was overbooked. Do you know what I mean? That's how crazy it was, but it had to be. The Gong, The Undertaker. I've expected Doink the Clown to run out at one point. I've expected DTV to pop up and show somebody backstage. A friend of mine texted me. It was like a live version of the Firefly Funhouse. Just like, okay, what the heck are they going to do next here?
Yeah.
How else could it end? It had to be that way. It had to be over the top. It had to be batshit. It had to be, over the top. Everything. I loved it. I loved the fact. One thing I will say, which hasn't been picked up on too much, and I'll let other people speak as well. The end, after the pinfall, the celebration, it was all focused on Cody. There was no, Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman didn't ham it up, and they didn't film them too much, from what I recall. After that pinfall, everything was about Cody. Everything was about the positivity, the celebration. We barely even saw Roman, from what I remember. Maybe I'll go back and watch again, but
no,
there was no fallout with the bloodline. It was perfect.
Videos.
They did post a video of them hugging on top of the stage.
Yeah.
Okay, but that on top of the stage, but even that, in terms of the show, it was after. It wasn't on the live broadcast as far as I remember.
No. That wasn't on it.
At all. Tony, was you surprised? Obviously, you was waiting for glass to shatter, but instead of glass shattering, it was a gong. Was you disappointed it wasn't Stone Cold?
Yeah. I can't lie, I was. We were watching it on a live stream, and we still went, holy crap! Like, it's the Undertaker coming. It was still a surprise, but wasn't the surprise that we wanted. And it feels bad to say that about someone of the Undertaker's stature and legendary status, but we expected the glass to break because it made more sense. But then, thinking about it, obviously, Undertaker and Roman had history at WrestleMania. And Undertaker, someone put a thing on Twitter where he doesn't like, well, it says that Undertaker doesn't like that family. And then it's got him beating Yokozuna, him beating Roman. And do you know what I mean? That kind of made sense because we see it after it. But in the moment, it would have made sense for the glass to shatter, wouldn't it, really?
I think he had one of his first matches was against Dusty as well, and Dusty put him over as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
So that might tie into why. I mean, I was gutted as well.
Survivor Series match 1990. I think he was on there in opposite teams. I don't remember if he pinned or eliminated Dusty. He may have, but I'm definitely on opposing teams in 1990 when Undertaker debuted.
You could have saved me a lot of time, Adam, on weekend instead of Googling things. God.
Yeah.
You could have come in handy on Tony was having to Google everything. Yeah.
Everything. But yeah.
There's so much to just dissect about in there, and obviously I'm going to have to come to Jill and Abdi next. It was your boy's time. You know what? I'll give him his flowers. He did it. He finished the story. Fair play to him. Abdi, go for it.
He did it. He actually did it. It was a very emotional night. I know a lot of people want to focus on the whole interference stuff, and that was the section where everything got heated and the levels raised, and everyone was waiting for that bit. But I'd love to say beforehand, I know people were waiting for it, but the match that they were having was still phenomenal. The chemistry between Roman and Cody is very, very, is a good thing that they have going. And like, you have your two top guys having that kind of chemistry, that feeds families, that feeds generations. That's the match that you can run out. It genuinely felt like one of the biggest matches you're watching ever. The whole hype package, the entrances, phenomenal entrance for Cody. Finally got like a big entrance that was grandiose. Roman's entrance. As much as in that moment I didn't want to take it in and appreciate, I can now retroactively and say that was phenomenal. That felt like final boss levels. That felt like the aura from it. I loved everything about it. I did notice his banner behind him wasn't blue though, like the big blue. It was like red. Or like a murky color. And I was like, all right, odd. But it is what it is. But yeah, the match they had, phenomenal up to that point. People forgot Jimmy was the first one that came in. It could have been him on the ring. Jey Uso came out, made the save, spit that big spear off the stage. Was disgusting. He was feeling afterwards. Solo comes out. Cena comes out with his weird hair and all that stuff, Poor guy. Takes out Solo, takes out Roman. Rocky comes out and he's effing and jeffing down the thing, saying, "Oh, you done did it now. Get out my company and this is my ring," and all that stuff. And absolutely just one-shot him, pretty much. Just one-shot him. The rock bottom straight out. He's gone. Then Rock's going to hit Cody, but Shield music hits.
Oh, yes, Shield.
Shield music hits. And I feel like the whole wrestling community lost their damn minds and thought, and the logic and common sense, and thought, Ambrose is coming? And then afterwards, it was like, listen, we all know he's on the contract for a long time. It wasn't going to be him, but it just the whole thing, everyone lost reason and logic and sense in that moment. But Seth came out and just got absolutely wrecked. Poor guy didn't even he got to the ring and the camera didn't even see him. He just turned to him and he's on the floor and I'm like, oh, Seth, that poor guy.
Rollins had a bad weekend all round.
Yeah, I will say. I'll say it now. Forget it. I'll say it now. MVP of the weekend is Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
MVP of the weekend is Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
In ring wise, he's the MVP. I'll get into my second MVP afterwards. But Taker comes out. Was not expecting that. I know everyone was thinking Stone Cold and all this stuff. To be fair, I wasn't that disappointed. I was expecting Stone Cold, but I'm happy with the Undertaker. Final boss against the final boss of WrestleMania. So fair enough. Gets rid of him. Roman's whole obsession with the Shield and everything that happened 10 years ago and not being able to get one over on Seth. That whole thing came back and haunted him once again. He took the opportunity when he could have taken out Cody. He takes out Seth. Took too much time. Cody regains himself. Hits the Trinity of Crossroads. Pins him. 1, 2, 3. There was just a massive explosion after that. It was just the euphoria of everything. I can't put it into words. It was just a very emotional time. I will say hats off to Roman. He deserves a lot of credit. I don't hold any hostility to Roman Reigns. I never did in terms of the whole tribal chief bloodline thing. I'm actually a really big fan of Roman, and I loved his reign. I just wanted Cody to win it, and Cody's my guy, and I wanted Cody to win it last year, but in the end, the wait was worth it. The wait was worth it. It was magical. And now it just opens up so many more doors. I know Rock, we're going to get into it, but Rock said that the story is not over, is over with Roman Reigns and his wants to begin with Cody. Mm-hmm. I think Roman has a new story as well. What's next for him? He's freed up so much with the whole bloodline stuff. There's so many avenues you can go back down. There's new faces maybe popping up. We'll have to wait and see on that one, but there's definitely new faces coming in. So it'll be very interesting to see where things go. But as for now, please acknowledge your new undisputed WWE Universal Heavyweight Champion, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. And the MVP, second MVP, Samantha flipping Irvin.
Yes.
Phenomenal.
We'll get into a bit
phenomenal.
Later. We will do. But yeah, no, well done. And Jill, obviously, has another Cody crybaby. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
I want to touch, obviously, more on Seth a bit, because back in end of Feb, start of March, they had that promo where they were first starting to team up. And Seth said, there's only one man in the company that's suited to be your Shield. And that is me. And it was so true for the whole outcome of the story. Seth knew that Roman wasn't over what had happened 10 years ago after their match at the Royal Rumble a couple of years ago because of Roman's reaction to Seth being in the Shield gear. So Seth knew that would be his reaction. And I really like the way they told it, that by Roman choosing Seth, it cost him everything. And it's that whole obsession thing that went throughout the whole weekend of you're over obsessed with somebody, so it backfires on you and you lose everything. And I think it was a really good way to end that whole story, that whole arc. I felt for Seth. He looked in so much pain afterwards, had to be helped in the ring, helped out back. But I think it was the perfect way to end the story. I agree with Abdi. I don't hate Roman. I just got a bit samey, if that makes sense. It was like, Roman's not going to wrestle for a few months and he's going to win because Solo will interfere. And that was all it became. And that was what I got sick of. So it wasn't that I disliked Roman. I don't dislike him. I like him. He's a great wrestler. But I was sick of the story they were telling with him. And I think what they do next will be really interesting. His post that he's put out today was really interesting. He's back in the gym. He's training already. So I'm really intrigued to see where they take that when Roman will be back. Because obviously his next advertised appearance is the SmackDown before SummerSlam. So will he be back before then? Won't he? I think that will be really interesting.
Interesting, yeah. We might see him a bit sooner. You never know. So yeah, that was Mania, guys. I'll quickly run around and grab a rating off you for both for it overall. So I'll start with you, Craig.
I think I'll give it a 9.5. Yeah.
Cool. Jake?
10 out of 10. It was just perfect. The weekend. Rhea Ripley winning, like my favourite women wrestler at the moment. And then the ending with Cody winning, that just knocked off the top. I basically want to say as well, I don't know if you probably did hear it, but after all the commission with Seth Rollins and Cody and Roman, the Seth bit with the Drew match.
Mm-hmm.
He said you effing deserve it to him, to Drew.
Yeah, see that, yeah.
As well, but obviously he didn't shout it because everyone else would have heard. But yeah, I definitely see Drew claiming his title back at Clash of the Castle. But yeah, it was just 10 out of 10 for me.
Cool. Tony?
For me, I'll give it a 9 out of 10. I can't give it a 10 out of 10 just because I think the Uso match, I think if that would have been really good, I think then all the matches on the card would have been really, really good. And I think that was just one of them that stopped it from getting that extra 1 point. So I'd give it a 9 out of 10.
Adam?
Yeah, I pretty much agree with Tony and Craig. So 9 or 9.5, whichever you want to call it. I think just stopping short of perfection. I don't know if perfection is necessarily possible anyway, because everyone has different tastes of what they want to see happen. But yeah, I mean, I couldn't ask for any more effort from them as an organization, as individuals. It was fantastic. It was memorable. It was more than value for money, however much you paid for it or whatever, if you know what I mean. Yeah, 9.5 out of 10. Yeah, fantastic effort, and I'm thankful to them for doing it.
Perfect. Abdi?
I'm sort of torn. I love the ending. The ending is just everything. And night 2 is just a straight 10 out of 10. Night 1 was just where it kind of lagged it down a little bit, and I'm probably gonna go with 9, 7, 9, 8. 9, 7, 9, 8. It was close. It was just that Jimmy J thing kind of sagged it a tiny bit, but that main event kind of pushes it back up for me to be up there anyway. But yeah, it's definitely up there in terms of one of my favorite WrestleManias of all time. And usually the common trend is night 1 outperforms night 2, and we don't really get the best of night 2s. It was the flip this year, so I'm happy.
Cool. Jill?
I'm going to agree with the others. 9.5. I think it was a really good weekend overall. Gutted about the Uso match because I was really looking forward to that one. That was one of the ones I was most looking forward to. I think it should have been a stipulation match. As a lot of people have said, the 2 minutes they had together on the ramp in the main event of night 2 was better than their whole. And it just needed that stipulation. City of Brotherly Love street fight, something like that. But overall, thoroughly enjoyed the weekend. Some good shocks in there, some good surprises, and I can't fault it. Best WrestleMania I remember watching.
Cool. For me, I'm giving it a 1 because Roman lost.
Damn.
Nothing else.
Damn you.
Roman crybaby.
Roman crybaby. Yeah, we hashtagging it.
May I just add, from listening to the other ones, I do sort of agree with that rating, but I might change my rating to 9.5 just because I know everyone's saying it's the Uso match that disappointed, but I know it's just in my opinion that John Cena bit just
topped it.
You can give it a 10 if you want to give it a 10.
No, it's just because it was a 9.5 my words, but just because I think the Cena in general is just too overrated in my opinion. But I know everyone's probably saying no, he's not, but
that's fine.
But yeah, he's just overrated.
Right, cool. We're just going to push on that because it's just raw and time-wise as well. We'll quickly touch on Raw. I know it's not going to be quick, but it was the Raw after Mania. Obviously,
feelings back.
We started off with Triple H, didn't we? Coming out, thanking us, but it ended up us thanking him for a great Mania, and then he brings out Cody Rhodes, who showed him quite an emotional package. Like, look, don't get me wrong, I'm not a Cody Rhodes fan, but it was an emotional video, right? I've got a heart at the end of the day. Yeah, it was to see what he's gone through, and that fair play to him. You know, and he was saying he's sitting at the top of the mountain until we heard the music. Rock comes out, doesn't he? Cuts a promo, and we saw him hold his title, which he'll be getting at SummerSlam, getting a feel for it a bit early. And then he handed him something which kind of shook Cody Rhodes to the core a bit. He looked quite worried. And I know there's been a lot of chatter on Twitter and everything, but we can exclusively reveal on this channel tonight what it was. It was the keys to this bad boy. So you heard it here first. Cody Rhodes, undisputed champion and Slim Jim car driver. But no,
he got the meat car.
I had to get a joke in somewhere with Cody. But no, in all seriousness, Adam, what do you think it is? There's been rumours of a watch. There's been rumours of everything we've heard of. What do you feel it could be?
So the only thing I can kind of think is maybe a Hall of Fame ring, but I was trying to figure out maybe whose. Because obviously, people who may have passed away, whatever. Dusty Rhodes, did The Rock for some reason have Dusty Rhodes Hall of Fame ring? I can't imagine how or why he would. Or did he give him Rocky Johnson's, if Rocky Johnson's in, I think he is, or Peter Mayabeer's? But he did also, he linked it to Never Break My Heart Again.
Yeah.
So, I was trying to think, is that a very loose Godfather reference, Fredo? Maybe that's just me because, I'm obsessed by that film. Maybe that is something completely outside of it. But, yeah, my thought was maybe a Hall of Fame ring, one of their fathers or grandfathers or whatever.
Cool. Has anybody got any other thoughts what they feel it could be?
I don't know in terms of what it could be. I have no clue. I found the whole thing very menacing from The Rock.
Yeah.
It was very sinister. The way he was saying it was just the calmness in his voice. It was slightly terrifying. Not gonna lie, it felt like he could take out Cody at any moment. Really, it was a little unhinged. Not gonna lie, very menacing, very sinister, and he's gonna go away for a bit. We'll see what he does. It's sort of like the finishing touch on the movie of the story yesterday of the weekend, and then afterwards we'll get like the next part down the line, maybe like a sequel to the movie or something. I don't know, but I as for what it could be, not a clue in the world. I did find the whole thing a little awkward, but it was I was hooked for the whole time. I was very hooked for the whole time, and I'm very intrigued to see what happens next. We'll see SmackDown potentially.
Yeah, good.
I personally wonder if it might be his father's Hall of Fame ring, because Rocky and Dusty teamed. Cody and The Rock know each other because their fathers were good friends, from what I've read online. So that's my thought. But the whole promo, I don't get it. It just left a really bitter taste in my mouth. It was just awkward. It seemed a bit like I think there was a better way they could have done it. I understand why they did it that way, but you could tell from the crowd they weren't behind it. The whole swapping of titles, that didn't really make much sense. Like, why would that work? And I can understand why Cody said, well, I'll try yours, because then The Rock can't run off with it because he wants the People's Championship. But yeah, I think The Rock will be back somewhere around SummerSlam. So now he's got a film to go and film. So
it was touched on earlier before we come live. Actually, I can't remember who said it. That it's not Craig. I'll let you explain. It's not awkward when Craig explains this.
I don't know how many years ago it was. I don't really want to say just in case I get it wrong. But there was a segment where The Rock introduced the new championship belt, and Cody came out and interrupted him and asked him if he could try the belt on.
Oh, yeah. I saw that on Twitter.
And The Rock referenced, The Rock said, no, not a chance, you're irrelevant, blah, blah, blah. They attacked each other. The Rock bottomed him. So I believe it's a throwback to that, is what I believe that bit. And then, I mean, I think I'm going to go down the bus on fire route. I think it might have been a box of matches or a lighter, because we heard this whole thing of his bus was set on fire, but nothing more about it. I mean, we joke saying it was probably Solo Sikoa, but
in a hood.
What if it was the Rock? You know, I mean, it had to be something quite small to fit in his hand. Nobody could, a box of matches is quite small. A light can be quite. So, I mean, the Hall of Fame ring's a great shout. The watch might that have been a little bit too big to conceal.
And anyway, he said in the press conference that Triple H and Nick Khan sorted that out. That wasn't. So that was already announced.
Yeah.
What, the fire?
No, the watch. He was given a watch in the press conference afterwards that his dad pawned away so he can get acting classes and stuff. I will quickly say I'm not sure about the ring. I don't think the ring really makes sense to me, because why would The Rock have it? Because it would be with Dusty and his family and with
Not
his
ring, it was The Rock's father's ring, because The Rock's
okay. I still don't know why that'd make any sense to give it to Cody. Why would he give that ring away? I don't get the ring thing. If they find a way to make that make sense, sure. I know some people say it was MJF's ring. Stop, please stop with the MJF thing. I think I've got an answer for you. You ask me what do I think it was? I think it was the mana. He put the mana in his hand and he was like, "Do you feel the mana? Here you go, take it, enjoy it." The mana.
Do you know what? Do you know? I think it could have been a receipt. Because obviously maybe Roman's given something to The Rock to hand to Cody, and I think it might have been a receipt of some type. Yeah. And obviously shook his hand and he's like, "What is this?" But obviously he didn't read it there and then. And obviously it's a receipt for Roman to come back and get what is his.
Well, he said he's done with Roman, and it's about Rocky now. So I don't know. It felt very 1998 WrestleMania 4, post WrestleMania 14 kind of vibes in terms of Austin and that old fella, you know. So it might be the modern version of this, with Cody and The Rock, but with someone who can actually go in the ring. So yeah, we'll see where it goes. Some people saying it might actually be the WrestleMania 41 main event, not SummerSlam.
Oh.
It might be something like that. I feel like Rocky might even extend his stay, because he is on the board. Remember that, so he doesn't have any real rush to go away. Like he can still do his movie and stuff. He can come back. The thing is with the whole movie thing before, he was never really tied back in terms of a commitment. Now he's committed, so long term he might even be there for multiple years after this. He might do 41. He might do 42. You never know. He could do 43 as well. So. We might get the Rock and Roman thing down the line. We'll have to wait and see, but it's very interesting. I'm very excited.
Yeah, definitely. It's good times ahead. See, I'm going to skip. Go ahead, go.
No, I just googled. It was 2013 on Raw where they swapped their belts.
Yeah,
cool.
And tried them.
Cool. I'm just going to run through these next segments just quickly because I want to get in the last few bits of the show. We had Ilya Dragunov, NXT champ against Nakamura. Don't know where this leaves Nakamura.
Just a good match. Just standard good match. That's it.
Yeah, really good match, to be fair, yeah. Good to see the NXT champion as well on Raw.
It's going to be in the draft. Be in the draft.
They said he's going to be included on there, so it will be very interesting to see where he ends up. But will he take the NXT title with him? We'll see. We then had a picture of the night. R-Truth Judgment Day, which then brings on a 2-on-3, I would say, first of all, tag team match until Little Jimmy. Well, no, it wasn't Little Jimmy, and was it? It was Cena.
Big Johnny.
It was Big 5 Moves Johnny. Surprising to see Miz and Cena get on so well with the feuds they've had in the past. But no, they pick up the win and roll on. Then we had Roxanne Perez, the NXT Women's Champion.
Roxy.
I love the new attitude of her as well, which is great. The new NXT Women's Champion. And then, sorry guys, I know I'm skipping through. If any of you guys want to speak at any of that stuff, just jump in and let me know. We then had Sammy and Chad Gable. They teamed up, didn't they, to take on Imperium, and then which we then found out later on in the show that Chad's getting the title match.
I'm very excited for that. That's all. I really want to say that quickly. I'm very excited for that. Montreal next week. This is going to be a certified banger. And if Sami doesn't win, Chad might lose it. I think he might lose it. I don't know. Could be a bad one for Sami. We'll see.
Just touching on it, Adam, quickly. Do you feel that's where Gunther could interfere in that match, maybe, or is he done with the Intercontinental title picture?
I'd say he may as well. But what can he do now? Hold it for 667 days. Do you know what I mean? There's no point in going back to the Intercontinental title at the moment. I suspect we might not see him for another few weeks. Maybe he'll come back at around Backlash. The Raw after Backlash. And I suspect, as I think someone touched on earlier today, Gunther will probably be in the world title picture in 2024 at some point.
They've got King of the Ring coming up as well. So if he could be in that. And if they put a stipulation, a stakes on it, where winner gets a world title match or something, that'd be very cool. But hopefully they do something like that, because that'd be nice.
And then we had Jade Cargill versus Chelsea Green, which was just, what was it,
Straight moves? To the point.
3 moves and it was over.
Short and sweet.
She needs a proper match, and I think she needs it soon. We touched on it a bit earlier, but yeah, we're interested. Then Drew come out for the main event he cut a promo before it started, which was good, calling people pricks and everything.
Bondage Undertaker, I'll spank your ass, but you probably like it. That's funny.
It's he was pissed off. That's what he was, and it was good to see.
Trailer park trash or something he said, which got me giggling.
And then we went into the main event, and I know, Adam, you haven't watched it too much yet. Sorry to ruin it for you, but yeah, Jey Uso come out on top with interference from CM Punk. With CM Punk not wearing the arm brace, do you feel, Craig, he could be ready much sooner than we think?
Well, I thought so, but I think Abdi mentioned something about him being in rehab a bit earlier. So if that's the case, then obviously they're not going to risk rushing him back. But that doesn't mean to say that he's not going to turn up and do things like this and just be a menace, and just kind of play their mind games with Drew a little bit longer until he does eventually come back. Because I think that's what they're heading towards, isn't it? CM Punk and Drew at some point going face to face and having a match.
Yeah. So yeah, that was your Raw. I'm sorry to rush through the end bit because I know we just pushed for time and people are tired on it. It's been a long week and weekend for us wrestling fans, so I don't want to keep you too much longer than I have to. But yeah, solid Raw after Mania for me. I would give it probably an 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, possibly just touching a 9. Craig, what do you give it?
Yeah, I think I'd probably give it a 9. I think it was pretty good.
Jake?
Just because of all the stuff that I've seen, I thought it would be like a 7.
7? Cool.
I know it's a bit low, but yeah, 7.
Because of John Cena, mate.
No, it wasn't because of that. Because I was expecting a lot more returns, a lot more debuts, but we could possibly see that either SmackDown or
getting greedy.
Yeah. We're greedy now. Tony?
8.5. 8.5 out of 10. But I think one thing, did we see a Sheamus video, or was it just me?
Yes.
Yeah, we did.
We did. Yeah.
There was also, I must mention, there was a screen glitch and something that happened during the ad break.
Yeah.
Yep.
And also when Bronson Reed was on.
And
right at the start as well.
In the glitch, there was a face in the glitch.
There was a face.
It said hello in the corner. It's to do with. I think people know, but Bo Dallas.
Uncle Howdy.
You see the thing at the start as well, like the 30 seconds before Raw started, it deemed dark, and then
it played the song where that White Rabbit promo happened when Bray was
really?
So yeah,
I think it was a different song, wasn't it? They played. I didn't see the clip personally. I think it was a different song, but I feel like they're going down that route.
And or something. Referencing Owl, which ties back to Bray. I'm a big Bray fan. Of course, I've done my research into it.
It could be a whole different thing. It might not be Uncle Howdy specifically. You might do something completely new. But expect him to continue the legacy of Bray.
Adam, what would you give Raw?
So I kind of speed watched it a bit today and didn't quite get to the end of it. So from what I've seen, I'm going to give it an 8 as well. I know that's kind of what people are saying. I understand what WC Death, whatever that is in the chat there, has said about no shocks and returns and what others have said. But in some ways, I think this year that was kind of appropriate Yeah, we had so much going on with WrestleMania, so much to kind of digest, so much to kind of been such a reset because as someone, I can't quite remember who predicted, there was the most amount of title changes ever at WrestleMania. There's been a huge reset, a huge shake-up. We didn't need too much more in terms of surprises, returns, debuts. Let's let the dust settle. Let's see what's going on. Let's, take a breath. And it was a pretty cool, solid show. So I'll give it an 8 out of 10.
Cool. Abdi?
I'm sorry, quickly. If for people who are complaining about this Raw, they're saying there wasn't shocks and returns and all this stuff. Do you remember how bad it was last year? Do you remember the pain of last year? You had this year. This year. 1 second. You have Cody Rhodes, new champion. You have The Rock there. You have Cena. You have Ilya, Roxanne, and you have CM Punk on the show as well. Drew McIntyre, Sami Zayn with his IC title. All of that stuff going on. It was a great show. I'm gonna give it a solid 9. Yeah, 9 out of 10. I feel like with the Raw after Mania thing, it kind of restored the feeling with it. Because there was a lot of expectations last year, but the whole thing was ripped up at the last second by that Tasmanian devil. So yeah, 9 out of 10.
Cool. Jill?
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Abdi actually. 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. Yes, there wasn't the shock returns, but I don't think it needed it. You got the call-ups, the unexpected call-ups of Ilya and Roxanne. Not really call-ups, but you know what I mean. Yeah. They were there. The whole Cody segment was really the whole awkwardness of that promo. I just didn't feel it. But overall, I really enjoyed Raw and 100 times better than last year. 100 times better than last year. That was just awful. Too much.
Quick shout to NXT. Go on, sorry.
Too much of the two they shall be names were involved in last year, so I'm glad it's Triple H charge now.
Cool. Quick shout out to NXT over the past weekend as well. Phenomenal show for Sam Liv. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it, and I highly recommend you watch the North American title match because personally, for me, one of my matches of the weekend, maybe even a match of the year candidate. It was that
so
beautiful.
Good.
It was just fantastic.
It was also great to see Ava as well on Raw as well, Rock's daughter, which was great to see her on there as well.
About that actually, there's rumor.
There's rumors. No, we need to
know. 10 count.
If she comes back,
it's a cliffhanger ending. Tune in next week to find out.
Pretty much.
So, we'll see if Jill comes back. But until then, Craig, we'll go into your fact of the week.
Right. I was torn between two because Tony sent me one, but I think I might save that for next week.
Mm-hmm.
So the one I've gone with this week is Jinder Mahal's single WWE Championship reign is longer than all 4 of Edge's combined. So Jinder Mahal's single WWE Championship reign lasted 170 days, whilst Edge's 4 combined WWE Championship reigns only equaled 139 days.
Wow.
Oh,
that's crazy.
Yeah, to be fair, he had the World Heavyweight title a lot longer in terms of those ones. But yeah, his WWE title reign, some was like 3 weeks, 1 month.
7 reigns?
Yeah, so he's 11. Yeah, 7. Yeah, he's 11 in total.
But the WWE Championship, Jinder Mahal actually had a longer reign than all 4 of Edge's.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that you mentioned that. But actually thinking about his reigns, he had like the 3-week reign in the start of 06 and then the month of Cena and then traded back.
I think one of them was only 21 days. The other was 22 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were quite short.
And then he had one in 2009, I believe, when he beat Jeff Hardy and had that for like a month.
Yep. That was 30-something days.
So yeah, his one's on. They're short and sweet, to the point. Really.
Yeah.
Anyway, is Gillian back?
Gillian's back. Yep.
What was the rumours?
That was definitely a 10 count.
Yeah.
My internet died. I don't know what happened. I was mid-conversation.
You're about to tell us.
Yeah, what was the spoiler?
Huh? I forgot what I was saying.
Oh no, we've been waiting.
You said that the rumors of something. There were rumors.
Sorry, the rumors that some of the Raw and SmackDown stars might be going to NXT.
Oh, okay.
Possibly, yeah.
Well, I think we already saw Karrion Kross and
AOP were on
AOP.
NXT last
I mean, I
night.
didn't watch NXT, but yeah.
Natalia's
And
on there as
Ivar.
well, isn't she?
Natalia.
Ivar went as well.
Natalia.
Yeah.
Right, cool. Tony, you ready for your ringside news?
Yes. Evening, everyone. This week's news is all WrestleMania related. So they've all come from WrestleMania or around about that weekend. So first off, I just want to start with on Sunday, Triple H did a press conference and he alluded to the head of production, Lee Fittin. He gave him a massive glow up on there, saying about the new production, the new cameras, the new graphics, the Then, Now and Forever was made as well. He talked about the 8K camera, and he said there's more and more to come. I think you guys would agree with me that everything that has changed over the last couple of months since was it Kevin Dunn?
Yeah.
Yeah, since he left,
guy.
I think he was holding the company to a ransom, I think, with a paycheck. But I think that for me, it's a positive because it just makes the whole show look better.
Yeah, it does.
Second, I just want to say we had some really good entrances over WrestleMania. We had Rhea Ripley. We had The Rocks with his flaming Brahma Bull. We had Roman with the choir. We had Drew with bagpipes. Bailey, obviously, with her Egyptian theme entrance, which, you know, family heritage and all that, with Mo Salah probably. But what I want to mention is Cody Rhodes' mask that he wore for his entrance. Yep. It was made by a gentleman called Jason Barker, who's a close friend and created the Fiend's mask.
He also created Finn and Damien's masks. And his wife made Drew the pants and gear that Drew had on. Jason's wife.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah. I mean, yeah. So I mean, again, we had some superb entrances over WrestleMania. I know we spoke about them, but night 2 they did kick on and they did have some really, really good entrances. So the next 2 are pretty much the theme of the night. There's been a few flowers flying around, so I want to throw a couple more around. So Fightful Select have reported that Bobby Roode and Michael Hayes together produced the main events for night 1 and night 2. So just want to give them a big props and flowers.
I was about to say, you could say it's glorious.
Yeah, glorious. Exactly what I said. What you guys said, glorious. I mean, the events like we've spoke about from start to finish, they were exactly what you'd want. I know we didn't get a chance to say it, but the ending of night 2, I think it was probably up there with. Do you remember the SmackDown ending in 2000? I think it was, where you had Austin, Angle, Undertaker, The Rock, Triple H, everyone come down, everyone, and I think that's up there with it. So last and no means least, I think we mentioned it earlier as well, but want to give some flowers to Samantha Irvin. Sorry, she's done an amazing job over the weekend. There was a tweet from legendary ring announcer Michael Buffer. If anyone see it, Triple H gave her flowers as well in the press conference. Bubba Ray said exactly, put a tweet out as well. Eric Bischoff said it as well. Even Cody Rhodes made her say it again during Raw at the beginning. So yeah, she's doing an amazing job, and I think she's doing great. The only negative from there that I see over on the online was from I think it was Brian Hebner, the old referee. He said her voice is too screechy and she sounds like she's being strangled. But Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway,
so-
but
what's he doing now?
Exactly.
Somebody
Lying in
tweeted
his
that he got
bedroom.
fired for something. I can't remember who it was, but somebody like replied and said, "Says the man that got fired." I can't remember exactly why, but it made me giggle.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brian, you suck. Okay, she's the best.
Exactly.
Leave her alone. Anyway, all right.
So Samantha Irvin, sorry, she's amazing. I think, probably the best one that we've had since the Think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would go. I think. So, but that's it, guys. That's the ringside news.
Cheers. Thank you very much. And just
Thank
before
you.
we go, we did a predictions over the weekend, and the results are in. I finished bottom, but that's because I like to go against everyone else. That's just the guy I am. We had a 3-way tiebreak with Tariq, Craig, and Gillian. Craig with his bonus points cashed in, and that got him up there. But yeah, Tariq has declined tonight's challenge, so he will be number 1 contender for next week. So we are going to have a quick match between Gillian and Craig to see who will win. Ready to go. I'm going to get the question. Two seconds. Okay, where is it? The question is from Tariq. It was only fair that I let him ask the question. So it is. Here we go. Who did Cody Rhodes eliminate at the very end to win the 2023 Royal Rumble?
Gunther.
Correct. Gillian.
Well done.
Takes the prize, and she is the first ever TRT predictions champion. We'll give her a round of applause.
Well done.
Her
I
flowers.
was a bit slow answering. I've had strep throat.
It didn't stop Becky putting on a banger. You can't be complaining. You know.
I'm clearly not the man.
You're not the man.
So, Gillian, you will be defending that for Backlash.
Shine up real nice. I'm coming for it.
Against Tariq, actually, on the next week's show before that. So we will sort that out. But well done. Congratulations. And that's it, guys. Just all that's left for me to say is to thank everyone for coming on tonight. Everyone in the chat. Mr. Tom, WCWF, World Championship Wrestling. There's been loads of engagement in the chat tonight. Brilliant. So, yeah, thank you, Jill, for coming on tonight.
That's okay. Thank you for having me.
And congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Abdi, thanks for coming on, mate.
It's a pleasure, my friend. Thank you for having me once again. And congratulations on the big weekend. And hats off to you for doing the watch-alongs.
Oh, cheers, mate. Thank you very much. It was very enjoyable. Should definitely try and get on one if you can in the future. Hopefully Backlash is in France, isn't it? So it'll be a reasonable time. So
yeah.
Adam, thanks for coming on.
Thanks, mate. Always my pleasure. Thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you. Tony, thank you for tonight, the news and everything.
Yep. You're welcome. No problem. Thanks for having me.
Cheers. And Jake, thank you as well for coming on tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Excellent.
Always a pleasure.
And Craig, thank you as well, mate, for coming on. And mate, unlucky. You should have been there though, but unlucky.
Yeah, I mean, people will say I shouldn't have been in it anyway, but rightful winner. Bit slow off the mark, but thank you for having me, mate. I enjoy coming on here.
But cheers. Just personally, I want to say thanks to everyone, including you guys, for the continued support. The channel's still new. We're doing great stuff on it, and the watch-alongs, the engagement was brilliant. But yeah, it's been a great week for us wrestling fans, and we're in a new era now. So long may it continue. Good night.